Okay, hey guys, welcome back into another episode of the Regular Guys DFS show, NBA DFS, of course, today. I am David. Welcome back into the dungeon. And we thought we'd put a quick video together for today's Showdown slate on DraftKings for the NBA Finals tonight. Before I get started with that, if you guys don't mind, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button down below. Also, hit the subscribe button. That way you get notified every time we put out new videos. That is going to be important. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And give me a follow on Twitter, at SandoDFS. If you were following me on Twitter last night, I put out a bet that I liked for the big fight last night between Conor McGregor and Poirier. And I can't bet here in Nebraska. It's not legal. I have to drive 50 miles across the border to Iowa to put in a bet, and I wasn't able to do that yesterday. But I put out, why not take a shot at plus 600 on a first round knockout? And sure enough, it was a technicality, but the ticket would have paid if you took the advice. So anyway, give me a follow on Twitter at SandoDFS. We'll be putting out updates as news happens, and some exciting things happening for the channel here in the coming days that I also want to talk about. You definitely want to hit the subscribe button down below because we are going to be launching some new things on this channel. Either tomorrow or Tuesday, depending on how things work out. I am here in Nebraska. My history in sports media is that of basically covering Husker athletics for a good portion of my radio career. I was a producer for a show called Sports Nightly way back in the day, and just working in the media here in Nebraska. Obviously, I've covered a lot of sporting events, so we're going to be dropping this week on this channel the Husker Nation podcast. So any of you Husker fans out there that are paying attention, hopefully you can tune in for that. But that's not all. We're also going to be dropping our picks and parlays. As the NBA season starts to wind down, we still have things that we can wager on, like fights last night. That would have been wonderful if I'd have made the trip to Iowa and dropped $100 on that bet of Conor McGregor getting knocked out in the first round. But anyway, we're going to go through maybe some stuff on prize picks, also just some regular wagers as things pop up, as they come up. And then, of course, we're going to be continuing our DFS daily or weekly programming as we get closer to football season. I'm going to put out some basic videos about NBA or NFL DFS and how I got started in it and some of the strategies that I use for some of the success that I've had. So, lots of exciting things, hopefully, guys, coming on this channel. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you supporting it. We're doing everything we can to grow the channel here. And every little like button, every subscribe, it certainly helps moving forward. So, anyway, that's what's coming down the pike this week. But for now, let's take a look at today's Showdown slate. It's very interesting. The last couple of slates. I didn't put a video out for the last slate. You guys kind of basically know how I feel about Showdown. Not my favorite way to play DFS at all. But you know what? It's the only game in town, and let's put some action down on it. I thought I'd start today by just going back and reviewing here how we're doing in our series, the entire series of Milwaukee versus Phoenix that we started, in game one. And it's not going too bad. If you look down here, 308th place in the 50K right now. I expect that to go up. We're about 24 points out of first place. And the person here who has first place has Cameron Johnson as a captain as opposed to Giannis, who I have as a captain. So I'm hoping this series gets extended. Excuse me. And I'm hoping that Giannis can have a couple more big games like he had last game. That point differential should start to close the gap for us into the guy in first place here. So anyway, we spent $50. We're winning 90, and frankly, I expect that we can do better as long as Giannis has a couple of big games. So let's just switch over and take a quick peek at tonight's game. I was going to put this video out yesterday, guys. I had it all ready to go. I'm sitting down ready to record. Sorry, I need some coffee. We had a thunderstorm roll through, knocked out power. We had to restart the whole system. So anyway, this video is a little later than I'd hoped getting it out, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. Showdown, guys, if you're new to Showdown, basically the key for me has always been determining a player pool that I'm willing to use, and then finding the correct captains, which gets 1.5 times your points for that player pool, and seeing which guys, just hoping those guys have the most effective nights. For example, the winning slate, or the winning lineup rather, in the slate that I played last time actually had Bridges as a captain. I had Bridges in the lineup. He just wasn't a captain. And because Bridges had I think he scored like 30-some points. I don't remember exactly how many fantasy points he scored. But anyway, when you get a guy like that has a career type of night or goes off for an unusual type of night, having him in a captain spot puts you in a certain advantage, because you can put more of the big guys in your utility spots if you're willing to use him as a captain. I mean, the key obviously is that captain has to have a big game. So let's just take a quick peek at the player pool today. We all know that Giannis will probably be the most popular guy on the slate today. Milwaukee going home absolutely has to win this game. So Giannis is going to have a big one. And in fact, I'm probably going to have a couple of lineups in with Giannis as a captain. But then we move down here. Booker, of course, obviously could have a big game. Paul. We need big games out of Middleton and Holiday. So I'm probably going to go ahead and put in a lineup that has one of those guys as a captain. Again, Milwaukee needs to win this game. They really haven't been very good. Middleton wasn't bad in the first game, but need a guy like I'm probably going to focus on Drew Holiday and put him as a captain in one of the lineups. And then Bridges had a kind of a huge career type of game last game. I think he's definitely viable to go right back to tonight, but I don't think I'm going to. Just because I haven't seen these guys do it really back to back. If I were going to go with a Phoenix guy to have the type of night that Bridges had last time, I think I'd look at Jay Crowder. Bridges and Crowder both play the same amount of minutes. Crowder hasn't shot the ball particularly well, but if he gets going, he's a 3-and-D guy. But if he can get going and knock down 5-6 threes, he could certainly have a big enough game, and he'll play enough minutes that I don't mind, trying to get a little bit different and taking a swing and maybe using. I think tonight I would use Crowder over Bridges. I don't think Ayton is ever a bad play at captain, because he's just kind of been a double guy. He hasn't been scoring as many points though against Milwaukee. Milwaukee's done a pretty good job of keeping him right around the 10-12 point mark. But if Milwaukee has to pivot towards more offense tonight, a guy like Ayton could step up and maybe have one of those 20-point and 13-rebound games. And certainly, if he does that, having him in a captain spot would be very beneficial and very possibly could go into the winning lineup. I have absolutely no interest in guys like Bobby Portis. Now that Giannis is back, he's not playing enough minutes. I don't have any interest in Cameron Payne, especially at $7,200. Let's go over their utility prices. That's what usually Cameron Payne was like $6,000 last slate. And so is Cameron Johnson. Cameron Johnson was more expensive than Payne, so I didn't use them at their price points. Now that the price points have come down, I think Cameron Johnson is, again, a pretty good play. I have no interest in Brook Lopez. He's not in my player pool. Again, I have no interest in Bobby Portis. He's not in my player pool. I have no interest in Cam Payne. He's not in my player pool, just because, Johnson has gotten more minutes than Payne the first 2 games. So I'm not going to play Cameron Payne even at $4,800. Couple of guys that I'm interested in. You never know when Tucker might pop up and have a good offensive game. It generally doesn't happen, but he's had a couple of them throughout the playoffs. So if you wanted to get different, take a shot with Tucker to maybe score, actually score 15, 18 points tonight. But here's the guy I think I'm going to look at for my, off the wall, cheaper guy to use as a captain. He's coming back home. Pat Connaughton has played 28 and 34 minutes in these two games here in the finals. So that's good. If we're getting over 30 minutes from Pat Connaughton, he was 4 for 9 from three-point land, 50% on field goals, 25 fantasy points. If he could have just knocked down 2 or 3 more shots and maybe a couple more rebounds, what I'm saying is he could be a guy tonight like Bridges was last game that's cheaper, that could go off for a big game. And if you have him at captain, you're able to fit more of the guys that are, the more productive guys, the Giannis's, the Chris Pauls, the Devin Bookers into your lineup. So that's a place that I might take a swing. And then this guy is very interesting to me. Torrey Craig. Let's just take a look at him. He hurt his ankle last game. He played 8 minutes. He'd already knocked down 2 3-pointers, 6.5 fantasy points in 8 minutes, but he got hurt. He's out, and now he's probable, the last we saw. But how much will he play? This is an intriguing number, guys. I wouldn't ever use him as a captain, but $1,000 salary just lets you fit more guys in, like we talked about. Now, how much is he going to play? How much are they going to... with Dario Saric out, it seemed like Craig was trending to maybe get a few more minutes. He was in the game early last game. How bad is the knee? Are they going to baby it? Is he going to be affected by it at all? Are they going to limit his minutes because of the knee? $1,000 is a hell of a price for a guy if we thought he was going to play 15 to 20 minutes, and he can be productive if he knocks down his shots. So Torrey Craig could damn near be the key to this slate. How much guys are going to put him in? I mean, he's going to get put in. I'll probably put him in a lineup or two just because at $1,000, it's going to allow me to, to fit more guys in. So you're going to have to make a decision, guys. How much do you think he's affected by that knee? Will they limit his playing time? If by chance this game blows out, which I think there's maybe a small chance it could, just because of how desperate Milwaukee is going back home. I expect guys to play a lot better than they did on the road. He wouldn't be a guy that would stay in the game, though, with a knee injury. So he's a heck of a risk. Honestly, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with him yet. I think generally I'm going to fade him because he's going to get real popular at $1,000. People are going to put him in just so they can fit more guys in. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much the guy. I have no interest in Bryn Forbes. Jeff Teague's gotten a few more minutes the last couple games. I mean, I guess you could put him in and hope that, he gets 15 to 18 minutes and can be a little bit productive in that time. But again, Portis, Payne, absolutely no interest in them. Absolutely no interest in Brook Lopez. With Giannis back, he's not going to have one of those career nights like he had in that series against Atlanta where he scored almost 30 points. I think that was his career high. So I'm not going to use Brook Lopez in my player pool. I don't know if I'll go back to Bridges tonight. I probably will, but I don't think I'll go back to him as a captain. I built one quick lineup, guys, before we get out of here with Giannis as my captain. Again, I think I might use him a couple of times just because I think he has the potential to, to have another 70-point fantasy game again tonight. And here's what I came up with that I don't have any problem putting in. Giannis with Ayton. Again, Drew Holiday has got to show up at some point, and it better be tonight. Because if he doesn't, and the Bucks lose this thing, the series is over. So I'm going to take a chance with Drew Holiday. And then I'm going to go ahead and put Connaughton in like we talked about and just hope he has a good shooting night and continues to get the minutes that he's been getting. And then Cameron Johnson, we talked about. I don't have any problem going back to him now at 4,600. There's no way I was going to use him at 6,300. And then the other guy, that I can put in here is a guy that I think I'm going to take a shot on with a captainship tonight. Bridges had the good game last game. Let's hope that Crowder has the good game tonight and he fits in perfectly with only $100 left in salary. So that's one of the lineups I'm going to put in tonight, guys. Play with it however you want. And again, I'm not afraid to put Torrey Craig in, but if you're going to play multiple lineups, I wouldn't have him in all of my lineups because I think it's just too much of a risk of how they're going to treat that knee injury. So anyway, guys, that does it for today's Showdown slate. Before we get out of here, again, if you please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the little notification bell. That way you get notified every time we put out a video. And give me that follow on Twitter at SandoDFS, where we'll be putting out updates. And then, of course, when our new video series start to launch, very excited about it for this week. Take a listen, even if you're not a Husker fan. Come in and take a listen to what we've got to offer in this Husker Nation podcast we're dropping, and we're very, very excited about it. So good luck to us tonight. Stay with your player pool, okay? There's just certain guys that you just want to leave out. Stay committed to it. Find your right captain, and let's hope that we all have a profitable night. Until we talk later this week, guys, thanks for joining the Regular Guy Show, and we will talk to you next time.